What's up, guys? I hope everybody's having a great day. My name is Michael, and today we're gonna get a closer look at Seedify as a launchpad. While I believe it is still worth it to invest in Seedify, plus I will show you guys how much money I've been making using Seedify as a launchpad. Now, before I get started, don't forget this is obviously not financial advice, so just my personal opinion, personal experience. Do make sure if you ever decide to invest in something yourself that you do your own research beforehand. Now here we have Seedify on CoinMarketCap, and you can see it is currently valued at $12.70. It is going down a bit. The whole market is going down right now. So I got in just before November. I got in on the 28th of October here, just below $5. So I got in at like 4.90. To me, that was very beneficial, or at least it was a good time to get in because it started going up quite a lot in the weeks after that. So I didn't only participate in the IDOs, or I wasn't able to gain in the IDOs that I participated in, but I also gained obviously just by the value of the coin itself. Now, there is a bit of a debate going on Seedify, which is also why I wanted to make this video now, because as you can tell, it is going down a little bit. Bitcoin is going down a little bit. The whole market is going down a little bit. So we're getting close to a point where it can be worth it again to either get into Seedify if you're not in it yet, or to maybe up your tier if you want to. Now, to me, I believe that that mark will be at around $11. I'm hoping that somewhere in between of the $11 and $12, I want to up my tier from tier 2, which I'm in now, to tier 3. But we'll get to that in a second. Here you see on the website itself that there's one going on now. So I was able to put my money in like 2 hours ago, and in 40 minutes from now, they have the first come first serve, and they're gonna fill up this last little bit, so you're able to up your allocation a little bit. So my money was staked within Seedify for a little while. 2 to 3 weeks ago, if you would have asked me, I would have said that I wanted to get out of Seedify. I couldn't because my money was staked, which I'm glad with now. But at that time, I did want to get out. The reason why I eventually, when my money unstaked, didn't actually get out is because they really upped their game in the amount of projects they have coming up, um, plus also the quality of these projects. So if you look here, and we'll only look at the public ones for now, because the private ones are for tier 6 and above, so the bigger fish in the game. You see public, they have one in 2 days, they have another one here, they have another one here, another one, another one, another one. So in 1 week, they have, what is it, 6 projects coming up in the next week. Plus, they already announced quite a lot of projects in the week after that, and even the week after that. Usually they announce a couple of projects, almost every day they come up with new ones. So to me, my thought was, because the reason why people are considering stopping with Seedify is because the allocation is pretty low. And that's true, you get a pretty low allocation per project. But if you then look out over the whole week, where they have quite a lot of projects coming up, in the next week there's six more, plus there's one today. So really there's one every single day. The total allocation you get, even though it's spread out over multiple projects throughout the week, is still quite a lot, and that to me made it worth it again, or at least that's one of the reasons why it's worth it again. Now the completed pools, the last survivor is one that's the last one. You have Attack Wagon, Spin Top. The ones I'm gonna get into with you guys are Cryo War, just because I really like the project, Good Games Guild, and Gaia Everworld, which was the first one I participated in. So I chose a couple spread out over time a little bit. With Gaia, you can tell that they raised quite a lot of money, which is a pretty important thing to look for, especially in the upcoming future with Seedify as well, because not all projects raise the same amount of money. And the more money is raised, obviously, the higher allocation we will get. So if we look at the tier system within Seedify, here we go. Oh, I think I had it open already. There's 9 different tiers. So they have a tier system with 9 different tiers, of which started from tier 6 and above, you participate in private rounds. And with tier 9, you even participate in seed rounds, if I'm correct. So you even get bigger allocation, but you also get the coins at a lot cheaper rate as well. Now the tier 9 is really a big investment because you need to invest over $1 million. But if you have the money, why not? So here we have the tier system. I did a couple of calculations for you guys beforehand already, but you can tell I'm only in tier 2 right now. So I staked 1,000 Sfund. I staked $5,000 at the time, now worth just under $13,000. And I want to get into tier 3. Here you have tier 6, which is $10,000. So starting from, at the moment, a $130,000 investment, you get to participate in the private rounds. And then you have $1.3 million that you need for tier 9. So if I look at my calculation here, it's pretty simple. So I did this yesterday. So it's gone down a lot actually, or not a lot, but it is going down. Yesterday when I did the calculation, it was valued at $14. Now it is valued at 12.6. So if we change this 14 to 12.6, what you can tell is this. This is the tier number, the amount of Sfund you need to stake, plus the money that you need to do so. Now do understand that here the lowest tier is only because $3,000 doesn't seem like that much, but that's only a lottery based tier, so you don't get a guaranteed allocation. Starting from tier 2, you do get a guaranteed allocation, but at the moment you need to invest $12,600. So let's take this one out for a second. We don't have to look at this one, but 12,600 for tier 3, 31. Tier 6, like we said, is 126,000. The highest one, tier 9, $1.26 million. A lot of money, right? So is it still worth it to participate in the IDOs? Yes or no? And what else is there to it with Seedify that might make it attractive to get into it? Now, there's a couple of things. They have an article out, which is this one. Alex Becker joined Seedify as a strategic advisor. I guess most of you guys that watch this, most of you guys that are already in crypto would know Alex Becker. If not, he's one of the guys that's very active on Twitter, one of the bigger guys that's been very successful in business before he got into crypto. Obviously, articles like this are, a lot of hype is around it. People get excited. Oh, wow, it's Alex Becker. I want to get into it as well. At time of creating this this article, which was on the 17th of August, Alex Becker had just over 700,000 YouTube subscribers. Right now, I think he's at 1.2 million. His views get hundreds of thousands of views. So just for Seedify's exposure alone, obviously that is a good deal. Also, they have announced Journey Crypto, which is one of the similar guys to Alex Becker, a little bit smaller. I hold one of the Journey Crypto NFTs, so I'm part of a community there. Here you can see on Twitter that he's pretty well known right now as well. So what is a advisor? If you become a strategic advisor, do they really do that much? Well, it is good for let me check. It is really good for the exposure. It is really good for the names they have around them. Plus, they probably do know one or two things about the crypto space, so they can advise with upcoming project. Which project do they need to promote? Which ones don't? Here you can see Journey Crypto. He has close to 700,000 followers on Twitter. And here you have Alex Becker, who has 600,000 followers on Twitter. So that alone is obviously good news for Seedify, especially in the future. Why Alex Becker, also Journey Crypto, they invest heavily in the gaming scene, so the crypto gaming, which is very bullish right now, looking at the statistics. And Seedify is going that direction as well, where they focus purely on the gaming scene. So when it comes down to that, it is a good partnership. When we look at a couple of other things coming up with Seedify that takes away the look of just the IDOs alone, there's a couple of new news articles that convinced me to keep Seedify, because I believe Seedify itself is a good investment, just holding the coin as well. Right, so this is a Yahoo Finance article that I found. Here you can see Seedify is a blockchain gaming focused incubator and launchpad ecosystem, which is what they're doing now already, right? Which is what we already know. Um, but if you go down on this article, you can see Seedify V2. So this is something that they're focusing on, something that they're working towards. The biggest thing I focused on, or I took out of that, is Seedify Gaming Studio, right? So they're not focusing on only the launchpad itself anymore, but they're focusing on a full gaming studio. Within crypto, the whole gaming scene is blowing up. It's getting a lot of exposure. All the play to earn games are doing really well. And there's a couple of gaming studios previously that you can use as an example that have blown up in a very short time, purely because they're a gaming studio, and that's very bullish in the crypto market alone right now. One of them is Falcon Forge. Peer recently listed on Binance. It had a really big run up. Right now, again, same thing, because the crypto market is going down a little bit. Falcon has a bit of a correction. Very good entry point. I got in like a couple of days back at a pretty low rate to me again. But looking at that, the Seedify Game NFT Launchpad and the Seedify Game Studios makes it a very good investment, or makes it a very good, has a very high potential for the upcoming weeks, months, or even longer, right? It has a utility NFT set, or at least it's coming up with an NFT utility set. And obviously Seedify product updates, they update the website. Recently what they've changed is it was a airdrop at first. Now they made it a token claim system, which a lot of people aren't happy with. They prefer the airdrop because it just gets airdropped into your wallet quickly and you're able to sell it. Most people want to sell it as soon as it gets airdropped. But there's a lot of problems with it. The airdrop usually doesn't come on time. Sometimes it comes a little bit later. So far, more and more launchpads are going into a claiming system because they find that it works a little bit better for people to actually claim it on time. It just means that you have to do it manually. You have to do it yourself. So you have to be aware of the timing and when the actual claim happens. Cool thing that they did: before it was only Binance Smart Chain. Now they implemented the Ethereum and Polygon chains as well. And apparently Avalanche is coming soon, which I wasn't aware of yet. Plus Solana integration always also a focus. So if we look at the upcoming things that Seedify have planned on their roadmap, we can tell that it's not just going to be a launchpad anymore alone, but it's going to be more than that. Well, then we go back to the actual price right now, or we go to the market cap right now. This is valued right now, sure, with a little bit of hype around it, because they started working together with Alex Becker. They started working with Journey. A lot of people are using Launchpad these days. There's a lot of hype and exposure to Launchpad and to gaming IDOs, etc. So that might be calculated within the market cap already as well. But there's not really calculated, or in the price right now, it's not really calculated they're going to be a gaming studio. There's not calculated that there an NFT marketplace is coming up. So you can either think it is valued a little bit high right now, I don't want to get in, or you can consider that the market cap of Seedify itself has a lot of potential left for growth. So you want to get in there before that happens. Now, for me, my approach will be, I already have tier 2 staked right now. I want to get in when it is around $12, maybe a little bit below, to get a higher tier. So I want to get into tier 3. At the moment, that means I need to go from $12,500 to $31,500. So I do need to put in an additional $18,000 at the current rate. But so far, I am willing to do so. And then, of course, if it drops down even more, well, that means you're going to get a discounted rate to get from tier 3, in my case, to tier 4, and potentially into tier 6 eventually. So I'm going to be able to participate in the private rounds. If all that doesn't happen, if it doesn't drop, I'm pretty happy to stay where I'm at, as long as it means that Seedify is continuing to grow itself. Now, then we look at the staking. So now we know how much money we need to put in, how much money we actually need to have to participate in the IDOs, and how much allocation that will give you, I will tell you guys in a second too. But then we need to look at the staking. So this is a semi-important thing to look at. You gotta stake it for a certain duration. So you can stake it for 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, or 60 days. The longer you stake it for, the higher your APY rate, so the higher your interest gets. I staked it 2 weeks ago for 30 days. My staking before that was 14 days. As I said, at that time, I kind of wanted to sell it, but I couldn't. When it did unlock, I saw the news coming up. I saw that a lot more projects were in there, so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it, and I'll stake it for another 30 days, which has been 2 weeks now. So the APY rate, it means that you're gonna get additional Sfund sent to you, or it'll be a claim, or it'll be an airdrop. I'm actually not sure about that you can get. So how much money is that? How much money do we actually get? There's an easy website that you can go. You just type in APY calculator. I always just take the top one. So I use the top one. Here you can say, what is your APY? So if we take mine as an example, you can see I have an APY rate of 25% and it is locked for 30 days. So 25% compound frequency monthly, because you only get paid out once, and it is just 1 month. There we go, 11, 1 month. Initial balance, that is how much money we invest. If we look at the current rate right now, it is roughly $12,600. So here you can see that with staking it for 30 days, with participating in the IDOs, I would earn an additional $236 for the APY that I get, for the interest that I get by locking it. That is not considering, obviously, the growth that the coin can make. It can drop down more as well, which means that you're gonna earn a little bit less from staking. But at the current rate, I would earn additional $236. So something not to forget about. All right, so then what we want to look at is the actual projects and the allocation you get, which I have for you here in my sheet as well. So I took a couple of examples. The pool weight that you get. So from tier 1, it's a lottery based system, right? So you never a guaranteed allocation. The tier 2 gives you a pool weight of 2, and that only goes up and up and up and up. Now, what does that actually mean? Here you can see how much allocation you will get. We will go for Gaia first, which was the first one I participated in, which is a little bit longer ago. And what you can see, for me, I was in tier 2, just over $20, $20.33. You can tell that that's higher than all the other ones. So what does that probably mean? It means that at that time, a little bit less people were invested into into Seedify, so they needed to spread out the allocation over less people. Well, that makes obviously total sense, because Seedify was valued at $5 at that time and not at 12.5. So here you can see Gaia at that time was listed at 16 cents. So I had $20 allocation at 16 cents per Gaia. If we look at Gaia right now, it is valued at 64 cents. So it's still a very decent gain. What is it? 5x, roughly 4x, 5x that you get, 4x that you get from Gaia, right? I already took my initial investment out, so I'm in profit with Gaia already. There's a little bit left in there that is vested, so they're gonna spread out the amount of tokens that you get back over a couple of months' time. I took the first part out, so I already have my profit there, and everything else is just bonus on top of it. So that's Gaia. Then we look at Good Games Guild, which was the next one after that. The listing price, or the IDO price, so the price I paid for Good Games Guild, was 30 cents. My tier 2, so my currently $12,500 investment, got me a $13 allocation. Now this is where the discussion started. This is where the problems around Seedify started. How can I get a $13 allocation? Cryo was the next one after that, is even less, below 10. How can I get a $10 to $13 allocation by having $12 to $15,000 staked into the project. Doesn't make sense. And it doesn't. So they need to do something there to make it attractive again to get into a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 situation. But then you look at the results of Good Games Guild, it is right now valued at close to $7. So I got it for 30 cents and it is close to $7. So the ROI on this campaign that you get is massive, right? It is a shame that you only get a $13 allocation, because imagine you getting $50, $100 or more allocation with such a big return on it. Well, then it becomes very, very attractive to participate in Seedify and participate in the IDOs. You look at Cryo War, it was valued at 2.8 cents, but I had only a little bit less than $10 allocation. Now I have the results from my personal investments for you, but you see Cryo War right now valued at $2.40. So that is almost 100x right now. It has gone down a little bit, of course, because the whole market went down. Here at the peak, it was above $3, so it has been above the 100x. You want to see my results of these three we just talked about. Here I made a screenshot of it. So Cryo War, $9.94 investment. It is now worth close to $900. So you see the return on it. It's massive. The ROI is massive. If they can fix that problem with the lower allocation, then it is an amazing thing to participate into the Seedify Launchpads. One thing they could try, I don't really know exactly how that works on the back end, of course, but they can try to have a higher amount raised per campaign. So you look at Cryo War, for example, it was only 142,000 BUSD that was being raised. If they can double this, if they can triple this, then I would get triple the allocation and I would also have triple the profit, which is simple maths, right? But again, I have no idea how that works on the back end, but it would be something for them to consider. You look at Good Games Guild, same thing, amazing results, amazing return, but initial investment wasn't that much. So apparently made a mistake there, putting it down. Well, my Good Games Guild investment was 13.32 and not 11.71. So that means that my total amount is worth a little bit more. With Gaia, these numbers don't really make sense from a Seedify point of view, because I was also able to participate in Gaia with another launchpad, and I was able to invest a lot more there. So that's why this number is a little bit higher up. Then you have the most recent one, which is here. So Last Survivor has just been, and Last Survivor was listed at 1.5 cents. Similar here, the allocation was $13.9. On this one, you were able to participate in the private rounds as well. So here you see from tier 6 and above, they have private rounds. Allocation here means that you have 180 allocation at a 1.5 cent, plus you have a $205 allocation at a 1.2 cent, so even cheaper than the other ones. Hololoot is the one that's just been, so the first come first serve is in 17 minutes from now. I have a $13.78 allocation at the moment, and maybe I get a little bit more with the first come first serve. So now we know the statistics a little bit. Is it worth it or not? Well, that's a question you have to obviously ask for yourself, but to me so far it seems worth it. Why? Is because I invest in a lot more crypto gaming. I hold more crypto games itself. I hold game studios, for example, the Vulcan, and that's why I would hold Seedify itself, just the coin too. But because I'm holding it and staking it, I get a little bit more Sfund back, and I'm able to participate in the IDOs. So for me, it just makes total sense to do so. But if you're not really into that crypto gaming scene, or if you just want to do the IDOs itself, the debate will continue whether it is worth it or not. So what do they need to do? They need to obviously try and fix the problem they have with the lower tiers. Like how are they going to make sure that lower tier people get a higher allocation? They can spread it out, but that means that, they take a little bit from the tier 9 and put that tier 9 into, you know, the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. But people in tier 9 invest $1.3 million. Well, obviously they wanna have a bigger allocation as well, which makes total sense. So you can't take it away from them. So what else can they do? No, they can try and raise more money per project. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so they might be able to ask for more as well. And that way they can spread out more allocation through all tiers. Because one thing they need to watch out for is that if people in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 don't really think it's that attractive anymore, they're gonna get out, which is gonna bring the price and the total market cap of Seedify down, and obviously that's something they wouldn't really want. For people like myself that know they're gonna continue with it, it is attractive if that happens, because it only means that I'm gonna be able to up my stake in it. But for most people that just want to participate in the IDOs, obviously that's not an ideal situation. So that's my take on Seedify Launchpad and the reason why I believe it is worth it right now to participate in it. Please let me know what you think. Please let me know if you think it is worth it to invest in Seedify or not, and what you think of the current allocation system that they have in place. Also, if you have another Launchpad that you invest in that you think is awesome, please let me know as well, because I'm more than happy to have a look at it. I'm always open to start looking around into others. And lastly, we have started our weekly giveaway, just to kind of give back to you guys and to celebrate all the successes that we've had so far. So there is a link below in the description how to participate in the weekly giveaway. You're able to win $100 every single week in Bitcoin. So why not give it a try? And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.